Good evening, friends. I welcome you to this special briefing by Foreign Secretary Sri Vikram Mishri on the ongoing state visit of the President of Sri Lanka. We are also joined in the dais by Sri Puneet Agarwal, Additional Secretary who looks after Indian Ocean region in the Ministry of External Affairs. With that, I invite Foreign Secretary, sir, to give his opening remarks. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Randir. Good evening to all of you. Thank you for joining this briefing on the ongoing state visit of the President of Sri Lanka, His Excellency Anura Kumara Dissanayake. You would have followed the media statements that were delivered earlier today by the President and the Prime Minister. Following the discussions this morning, the two sides have adopted an India-Sri Lanka joint statement titled Fostering Partnerships for a Shared Future. I believe it has been released, so it's available in the public domain and you may like to go through it. Allow me to take you through some of the main elements and takeaways from this visit. The President of Sri Lanka, His Excellency Anura Kumara Dissanayake, is in India on a state visit. It's a 3-day visit. It began yesterday when he arrived here in the evening. He's accompanied by Foreign Minister Vijitha Herath and the Deputy Minister for Economic Development, Anil Jayantha Fernando. Yesterday, on arrival, shortly after he arrived in New Delhi, the External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, called on the President. Subsequently, the National Security Advisor, Sri Ajit Doval, and Finance Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, also called on the President. This morning, the official engagements began with a ceremonial welcome in the forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan by the Honorable President and the Prime Minister. Subsequently, the President went to Rajghat to pay homage to Mahatma Gandhi, and this was followed by the talks in Hyderabad House between the President and Prime Minister. There were a session of restricted talks and then delegation level talks. The Prime Minister also hosted a banquet lunch in honor of the President. Just a short while ago, the Vice President called on the President, and as we speak, there is a business meeting going on. The President Dissanayake is interacting with Indian CEOs in the sectors of IT, startup ecosystem, renewable energy, agriculture, textiles, etc. This evening, the President Dissanayake will meet with Honorable President at Rashtrapati Bhavan, and the Honorable President will also host a banquet dinner in honor of the President. Tomorrow, President Dissanayake is going on a brief visit to Bodh Gaya, and he will return to Sri Lanka later in the evening tomorrow. You would be aware that this is President Dissanayake's first bilateral visit in this capacity after assuming the presidency. And the fact that he has chosen India to be his first foreign destination after assuming office as president in itself demonstrates the importance that Sri Lanka attaches to the bilateral relationship with India. As you all know, Sri Lanka is also India's closest maritime neighbor and has been an integral part of India's neighborhood first policy and India's vision sagar. The two countries are civilizational partners with a unique friendship, and India has time and again demonstrated that it is a dependable partner and a reliable friend for Sri Lanka. Whether it is disasters mishaps at sea, the COVID pandemic, or indeed the very serious economic crisis that confronted Sri Lanka just a couple of years ago, India has been present in the role of a first responder. Our support has been timely, swift, and most importantly, unconditional, underlining our position as a responsible and friendly neighbor of Sri Lanka. President Dissanayake, in fact, acknowledged the same during the discussions today with the Prime Minister, and thanked Prime Minister for India's support, especially the crucial assistance in the form of nearly $4 billion in various kinds of aid in 2022 and 2023, which helped stabilize the Sri Lankan economy at a critical juncture. India remains involved in this financial stabilization effort for Sri Lanka through its engagement with the IMF, which is undertaking a program for Sri Lanka following the debt restructuring that has been agreed. You're probably also aware that India is the co-chair of the Official Creditors Committee, and in that role also continues to play an important role in assisting Sri Lanka through this challenging phase. In recent years, India has also been Sri Lanka's largest trade partner. We are Sri Lanka's largest source of tourists. We also happen to be Sri Lanka's largest source of investment. Sri Lanka is also one of the largest beneficiaries of our developmental cooperation program and the recipient of several capacity building initiatives. The two countries, close as they are also pursuing various connectivity measures. We have enhanced our air and maritime connectivity, and we are now working on several projects related to energy connectivity through, for instance, plans for inter-grid connectivity, a multi-product petroleum pipeline between the two countries, supply of LNG, and the under preparation Sampur power project. In addition, there is digital connectivity, and this has taken a significant step forward through the introduction of UPI services in Sri Lanka. The current visit aims to expand this very robust partnership and take its frontiers even further. President Dissanayake thanked India for its instrumental role in finalizing the debt restructuring, as I said earlier, and the provision of grant assistance to undertake development projects in Sri Lanka. In particular, he thanked India for its decision to extend $20.66 million as grant assistance to settle the payments related to 7 completed line of credit projects in Sri Lanka. These were projects that were pursued under a loan agreement, but in view of the ongoing situation, it was decided by India to convert the repayments due under this line of credit into a grant. Similarly, there is another grant assistance project that has been announced of $61.5 million towards the rehabilitation of Kanken-Santurai port in the northern province. This is also something that was to be executed through a line of credit, but will now be executed through a grant. Prime Minister affirmed our continued commitment to support Sri Lanka in its economic stabilization efforts for its economic recovery and economic growth. And he further assured President Dissanayake that India's approach would be investment-based and grant-oriented to reduce the debt burden on Sri Lanka and to assist them in generating economic opportunities that are long-term and sustainable and will eventually contribute to growing the absolute size of the Sri Lankan economy. As I mentioned, both leaders have also adopted an India-Sri Lanka joint statement fostering partnerships for a shared future. providing a framework to strengthen the comprehensive bilateral partnership across several sectors, and these sectors include parliamentary exchanges, development cooperation, debt restructuring, energy cooperation, trade and investment cooperation, strategic and defense engagement, issues related to fishermen, among others. The joint statement will provide guidance for the relationship that is future-oriented and at the same time people-centric. The document also aims to bring together the several ways in which India can support Sri Lanka's economic recovery and have the partnership deliver prosperity for people in both countries. Let me also quickly mention some of the major announcements and initiatives that have been finalized during the visit. We have announced grant assistance of US $14.9 million to undertake signaling system in the Maho-Anuradhapura segment of Sri Lankan Railways, thereby furthering deepening our cooperation on the infrastructure related front. In addition to the already extensive scholarship programs that we offer in Sri Lanka, we have announced a comprehensive scholarship program for 100 students each from economically disadvantaged sections to the University of Jaffna and to the Eastern University. The scholarship is intended to take care of the needs of the students for the entire duration of their studies. Similarly, today an MOU was exchanged to train 1,500 Sri Lankan civil service officers over a period of 5 years. This is an MOU that has been signed between the National Center for Good Governance in India and the Sri Lankan Institute for Development Administration. In line with the Sri Lankan government's emphasis on transforming governance through digitization, something that President Dissanayake expressed very keen interest in, and something that he's committed to, in a sense, taking forward in Sri Lanka, learning from India's own achievements and experiences in this regard. Both leaders agreed to expedite the implementation of the India-funded grant project of Sri Lanka Unique Digital Identity that will support Sri Lanka in setting up its own foundational digital ID program and platform, much like India's Aadhaar. I mentioned earlier that we have already launched UPI in Sri Lanka for the use of Indian tourists since February 2024, and it was recognized on both sides that this would also provide a major fillip to increasing tourism from India in Sri Lanka. Today, another MOU that was exchanged was on a protocol to amend the double taxation avoidance agreement in order to bring the DTA in line with international standards on prevention of tax treaty abuse. You are aware that the issue